is your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva, coming to you with another a Diva Disturbed. It's been a while. Didn't mean to be gone that long, of course, but I am so fascinated and so intrigued by this documentary, this 2 hour documentary that Investigation Discovery put on with one of my favorite actors. I know that he has been accused of a number of things, but now after seeing the documentary and seeing his reply, I've got questions. Anyway, just want to share, if y'all can get hold of some of these gummy bears, oh my God. No, you got to get the organic ones. Black Forest. Child, I'm so addicted to them. I went down to Costco and saw that they had a big box for $17. I don't know how many come in there. Oh, 65 pouches. I don't know how many gummy bears come in there, but these are delicious and they're crack. They're addicting. But let's get into it. Let me go to my Twitter profile. How the hell do I change this background to black? Because this is ridiculous. I don't like that. Oh my God. Anyway, so last night they premiered on the ID channel this documentary where 10 men accounted for their interactions with Kevin Spacey. Now, I don't remember when the allegations first came out. It was in the height of the Me Too movement, where everybody finally was speaking up and saying he touched me too. And it was mainly women accusing men in Hollywood of doing this. But then we had men also like Terry Crews and other what we would consider heterosexual males coming out and saying that there are men in Hollywood that have been inappropriate with them. Now, if you remember when we pooched on down to Club Shay Shay and checked out Cat Williams' interview, he was saying 2024 would be the year we would see a lot of stuff. And boy, have we seen a lot, from Diddy to, he putting women on the payroll. Is 50 Cent called them little sex workers. LSWs. This I'm sorry. I know a lot of people hate that about 50 Cent, but I can dig it. Let me see what I have. So seemingly we have Kevin Spacey, who's able to compartmentalize his behaviors even in public settings, according to these 10 men that they profiled. One guy, let me see, because I'm trying to see all of my notes that I took. Y'all be using Twitter. I don't give a fuck what I don't give a care what Elon calls it. It's going to forever be Twitter to me, and I'm praying to God that somebody buys it back from him, and that, please, the founder of Twitter, please come take it back, because we tired of him. Twitter is broken. So anyway, I don't remember how or what order. I was just sitting there watching, making a couple of notes. There was a guy who appeared in Saving Private Ryan who met Kevin Spacey one night while he was out at the Viper Room. And if y'all remember the famous Viper Room, which I have been in, I think it was once owned by Johnny Depp. I think it was opened by Johnny Depp, but the mystere of it is that River Phoenix dropped dead right outside its doors. And so people always say when you go in there, you feel like his presence or whatever, but I'm like, I didn't feel it. My friend Andrews was performing, so I went down to the Viper Room, and I was excited to be down to the Viper Room because I wanted to know what the Viper Room was all about myself. So anyways, they end up going to a party or taking the party on to the Hollywood Hills. Now, if I recall correctly, I think Saving Private Ryan came out circa 2006, 2007. I only remember this kind of because I do have a copy of Saving Private Ryan. I personally have never seen it. My copy came directly from the studio. I was working for Variety magazine at the time, and I got a copy of Saving Private Ryan. Well, apparently, according to this guy who is a former Marine who appeared in Saving Private Ryan, uh, apparently um Kevin Spacey wanted to have his private with Ryan. I don't. I mean, it's bizarre. So, needless to say, he asked dude for a hug when he took him upstairs to show him something, and he tells him, shh, 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 it's okay, it's okay. He was like, dude, I'm straight. I'm straight. And why are you doing this to me? You know I have a girlfriend. Kevin don't care, baby. If that's how he really behaved from all these stories with the same MO, Kevin don't care. And so anyway, what ended up happening, next he gets a call or runs into Kevin while he's out and about. They go see Saving Private Ryan. They sit in the very back of the theater, and Kevin proceeds to pull out his private parts. And during the most horrific scenes, the opening scenes, they say in Saving Private Ryan, are just some of the most horrific recreated scenes you ever want to see. And he wanted dude to help him finish, but he didn't. And he just acted like it was normal. Okay. Now, what the Marine Corps dude did point out to me, and later on we find out that Kevin's father was a vile individual, according to his brother. I think his brother is Randy Fowler. I don't remember his name exactly. But his older brother, was saying that the dad, when he was like 13 years old, took him upstairs and raped him. And he was screaming for help, and his mom came to help, but the dad locked the door, and he threatened him and stuff. He said this went on for years until he left the house in 1976. And he told his father that he better not ever touch his little brother. But I personally think if these things that the brother are saying are true, then this explains why Kevin behaves the way he does. There were so many allegations until I'm just like, I can't believe that y'all allowed this to go on. But let me tell you this, the ongoing theme in a lot of these conversations that these dudes brought up about why they kept hanging out with Kevin, why they didn't say anything, and why they kept accepting his phone calls, and why one man even did the dude like old dude and abducted in plain sight, or took one for the team like old dude in Fire Festival, is because they wanted to progress their careers like so many other people do. They're afraid to say no. And because Kevin Spacey is so powerful and blah, blah, blah in Hollywood, we'll probably never work again. And I'm just like, that's not true. You just should have stopped accepting his phone calls and just pretend like you don't know him when you see him out in public. That was my thing. I'm just trying to figure out why you keep coming back, why you keep accepting phone calls. And Kevin knew that if I tell them I'm going to a party and Bruce Willis is going to be there, or someone of noble stature like himself, then hell yeah, they gonna want to come, and then we gonna get in the car and go for a ride. That's another thing. Don't get in the car with Kevin Spacey. According to these men, every time you get in the car, something happens. Child, he be pulling out his stuff, pulling out your stuff, trying to get you to do stuff to his stuff. It's crazy. Let me see what else happened. But the Marine Corps dude said that a lot of people were like, oh, if it had been me, I would have just went off on him. Blah, blah. No. You are in shock. When someone you admire does something inappropriate or is rude, there is shock. Now, what I would have done is probably, told him, dude, can you like put that away? Regular dudes do this shit to women, and I guess men do it to men too. They pull out their stuff sometimes. I mean, when I used to travel back and forth, when one of my friends lived in Atlanta before I moved there, but this was back when Atlanta was popping. This is when Club 112 was hot. I remember dating a sports agent, And my friend said, "Oh, I'm gonna leave the apartment so y'all can have some time." Now, me being me, I'm not just gonna sleep with you on the first, second, third date. Sometimes it just depends. I went to the restroom and come out, and there it is in all its glory. I don't know if I was supposed to be turned on by this. I'm like 21, 22 years old at the time, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? He was a sports agent too. As a matter of fact, he worked for a firm out there. I remember he was fine as hell though. But I was like, I'm not doing that with you. Plus, you look like the main character, one of the main character, well, the antagonist in Evelyn Harris's book. You look like Basil. Okay, I'm just saying. You look like Basil. Look just like how Evelyn Harris described you. Keep it on the down low. I don't want the down low. Okay. So the Marine Corps dude said when he rubbed it out and tried to get him to help, people were like, you should just, I would have done this, I would have killed him, I would have punched him, something. You wouldn't. And so the thing that the Marine Corps dude pointed out is that he believes that when Kevin does this thing where it's okay, there's nothing wrong, someone has done that to him. And I guarantee if this is true, his father probably did it and told him it was okay what he was doing to him. For all we know, he could have been sexually abusing Kevin before the older brother even, found out about it or thought that it wasn't happening. But Saving Private Ryan, after that, I wouldn't have even told Kevin Spacey to lose I just wouldn't have started, I wouldn't have talked to him no more. Find me on MySpace at that time. MySpace was a big deal. Another dude that was hitting some weed with Kevin, which kind of reminds you of American Beauty. That's another topic of discussion too. I don't remember if he wrote American Beauty, but remember he starred in it as Lester, who ended up hanging out with his daughter's friend, whose father was a neo-Nazi. And turns out Kevin Spacey's father was a neo-Nazi, a closeted neo-Nazi, who was abusive and also homosexual, as it turns out. So let me see, American Beauty. I love that movie too. It's crazy because there's so much beauty in the world. The trash. Remember he was filming the trash. I forgot who wrote it, but let's find out. Directed by Sam Mendes. But it doesn't say. It's a black comedy drama. I guess that means film noir. Who wrote this though? It was written by Alan Ball and produced by. But that's interesting that it doesn't give credit of any kind. But maybe Kevin Spacey told them the story and they wrote it on his behalf. But American Beauty pretty much outlines some of the things that have happened. So dude, I think he worked on him with a 1999 film, I think it was, called The Big Kahuna. And he was an intern or something. He said it was the only production he's worked on where he wasn't paid. And I'm getting everybody mixed up, but somebody ended up in the bathroom with Kevin. I think it was the dude from Big Kahuna. Ended up in the bathroom with Kevin, and he shoved his tongue down his throat and tried to make out with him. And he said he didn't know what to do. And then afterwards, Kevin kind of played it off. There was another guy. Here's another thing. Apparently, Kevin has a thing for Marine Corps dudes. Another dude had told him he had been in the Marine Corps, and Kevin didn't care. He said that's part of the allure. So, yeah, I just... yeah, even in high school, some dude from his class, senior class, said that when he was giving Kevin a ride home, Kevin grabbed his junk. However, when Kevin talks about it in his rebuttal, he says that everyone knows in high school, we used to do crazy shit like that, grab a dude's junk and have him keep driving, and one of his friends co-signed it, allegedly. I'm like, that shit ain't normal, Kevin. Because I ain't got no junk, but if you grab my breath, somebody gonna get hurt. Okay, don't be down there. We gotta drive. The roads are dangerous, Kevin. You can't be doing shit like that, okay? But don't go riding in cars with him, honey, because he's looking for a happy ending. Some dude actually performed fellatio on him, and he said he gagged after like 10 seconds and said that, he wasn't gay. And he said Kevin became very irate. I can't remember if this was in the car or on the phone call. Uh, they also had a running joke about Kevin, talking about, oh yeah, that's a Kevin thing. Don't ever be the last person down to the bar where the rich cars be, and Kevin and you the only ones left. You gonna have to do something to get home. That's all I'm saying. That's what they said. So the one thing that irritates me about the Kevin Spacey story, but what's interesting is that a long time ago, a guy I used to date, we talked about this. He said, you ever notice how you never see Kevin Spacey with women? And I had never really noticed, like he's never been tied or tethered to anyone. And of course, everyone was always asking about his sexuality in interviews on the red carpet or wherever. And I'm thinking to myself, what business is it of yours to even ask somebody that? Maybe he got somebody. Maybe his woman in the closet. Okay, maybe that's where he keep her because he don't want nobody to know. Well, let me ask y'all this. Have we ever really seen Jamie Foxx out with anybody, but he got 2 daughters by 2 white women? Needless to say, when all these allegations came out, all this time they had been harassing him about his sexuality. And Kevin, you need to come out and tell us if you're gay or straight, or what are you? Kevin even said that I've been with women too, so he potentially could be bisexual. We don't know. And early in his career, he would have women on the red carpet. But that doesn't mean that he was like with them and taking them home and having sex with them. He said that he had planned on coming out at the Emmys, I think it was, because unlike the Oscar and the Tony, the Emmy is female, and he was going to say, oh, this is so nice to finally touch a woman or to hold a woman. And that's how he was going to come out the closet. But he didn't win for House of Cards that year. It was 2016, I think, is when that happened. But he had won for House of Cards previously. House of Cards, on that set, one of the guys was playing part of his Secret Service detail, alleges that Kevin walked up on him one day after they did a scene and just grabbed his stuff, and then they went back to filming like it was nothing. He said Kevin chased him around that set. Another PA said she was his handler, and she was like, we used to purposely have to remove people from the set to let them work outside the show so that Kevin wouldn't come after them. One lady, a black lady, called the union, which is SAG-AFTRA, and advised them, that it was some stuff going on. Netflix says they were never apprised of what was going on on House of Cards. I personally never finished watching House of Cards. I wanted to get into it, but I don't remember what I was doing during that period of time, why I didn't watch it. I may not have even had Netflix then, who knows. But needless to say, all of this inappropriate. He even goes across the pond and starts managing this old theater, which is like a historic monument in London. And the Polar Ice Cream, this ain't funny because his little feelings really were hurt. But somebody commented on Twitter talking about Polar Ice Cream dude, he didn't stand a chance. I was like, that ain't funny. But I'm sorry. The way the person said it on Twitter, I was like, oh my God, that is so wrong. And so Kevin, apparently when he was over there, he got the ice cream dude, and I think some dude named Anthony Rapp, which, here's the kicker for that. That's why I said we got to be very careful about, number one, who we cancel, because, as soon as those allegations came out, he got fired from the House of Cards. Now, I don't know what their contracts say. I know that there tends to be morality clauses and all this stuff. Nothing to bring ire to the set, because the people who were producing House of Cards sued him for $40 million because you done messed up their bag by you out here with your shenanigans grabbing on people and telling them it's okay. But Kevin said that it was a dude that accused him, Anthony Rapp. They went to trial. He was found not guilty. Pretty much all of these cases, he's been found not guilty or not liable because he's been prosecuted and sued. So he's got criminal and civil. And Anthony Rapp ended up having to write him a $40,000 check, which didn't even cover his legal fees. He claims in this right to reply that Anthony Rapp, turns out he was jealous of him for making a career of being a closeted homosexual. I don't know how true that is, but he does state that if you look at the court records, it does show that Anthony admits that he lied. And a couple of other people have come out and admitted that they lied. Now, Kevin did say over the years he realizes that some of his behavior may have been deemed not criminal, but inappropriate, especially if he was drunk. And he has reached out to countless other people to apologize. However, he will not apologize to the entire world because he did not do things or have been accused of things to the entire world, nor he apologized to these men who have come out who have said that he touched them or behaved inappropriately with them because they lied. Now, I will say this, I can't get with that because let's go back to another predator or an accused and convicted predator, Bill Cosby. Some of these women had to backtrack. Like Janice Dickinson even said she lied. And I think Beverly Johnson did too. I don't remember. But these models, they ended up lying. Michael Jackson, let's not forget how they slayed Michael Jackson. Honestly, anytime things like this arise, with the exception of R. Kelly, because baby, I'm sorry, he did it. There's video. But anytime things like this arise, you have to question and wonder who in Hollywood did he offend and what did they not want to do. Look at how Dave Chappelle took off running from $50 million deal with the comedy television. Yeah. Or, look at how, it turns out that these accusers of Michael Jackson were providing false narratives. And HBO had to take that documentary down because it was full of untruths. Now, I will say this, there are things called perception and your experience. No one can take your experience from you. But what we cannot deal with is lies. Now, Kevin, like he said, every time I start getting ready to make a comeback and get work, here they come. He said before the documentary came out, they only gave him a week to review and reply. And when all of the shit broke, the BuzzFeed thing, BuzzFeed gave him I think he said 2 hours to reply? Like, how is that even fair? And then in court, a lot of these news reporters did what they did. I have to protect my source. So even in the depositions, they wouldn't disclose, how they obtained this information. All I'm saying is this, y'all. What is for you is for you. And no one can take that away from you. If it's meant for you to ascend to the heights of stardom, Kevin Spacey could not have stopped you. Could he have possibly gotten you there faster? Yeah. And then some of you were hurt and in your feelings when you found out that Kevin was only interested in a relationship or a casual liaison. I don't know. But at the same time, if that was your experience, baby, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But based upon some of these court cases, the jury said not guilty, not liable. And some of y'all had cut check. I don't know. I can believe that Kevin Spacey is very, very capable of doing what he does, which is, if you notice how he acts, he's very good. One of my favorite movies is Midnight in the Garden, Good and Evil. Look how he acts there. It's like he's two different people, and he's always two different people. People have said he was very talented. He started out on stage first and then progressed to film because Jack Lemmon was one of his mentors. And one thing about Kevin, he did admit, he said, you know, when I was mentoring or giving the old Vic workshops and all that, if I saw some young dude that I thought was hot, yeah, I might flirt, but man, I wasn't gonna try to take him home. His brother, as it turns out, that looks like Rod Stewart, they are estranged and have been estranged for years. He said he may have seen his brother a few times after he left home in 1976. He's not sure, but he does know the last time he saw his brother was in 2003 when their mother died. And his brother was trying to get at him for money. And so he ran up his mother's credit cards, like over $100,000. Kevin paid for it. He said, I even gave my brother some money. But other than that, that's all that it was transactional. It was a transactional relationship. I don't know how true that is either. But what I do know is that the cancel culture is real, but if you talk to Cat Williams, he'll tell you cancel culture isn't. You just have to, as we say in my place of employment, pivot. I don't know what's going to happen with Kevin's career. I know he is probably one of the most talented actors that I've seen in my lifetime, aside from Denzel and a few others. But there's just none other like him. American Beauty was good. If you saw him in Horrible Bosses, that was just ridiculously comedy to see him be such an asshole. But I can see how he could be. But I don't know. Let's provide some comments, context, and commentary. But like I said, if y'all have seen the Fire Festival or that show on Netflix called Abducted in Plain Sight, when the father did some things to help out his buddy, some of these guys seem to be on that level, like take one for the team. If you are in an uncomfortable situation, my thing is, and you can get away from it, and you got to worry about the person showing up down to your front door, just don't take the calls no more. Don't answer, no matter how tempting it is. There's always a way to get into some sort of Hollywood party, honey. Something's always going on, child, down there. You know, you can buy a ticket or something sometimes, you know, and just hang out. And you'll see some stars go by. Better yet, go down to the Grove. Go down to the, what's the market that's over there by the Grove. Yeah, just go hang out over there. You'll see all kinds of celebrities, child. That's where they be. And go down to Chocolate Sundays if you want to see some black stars. They be down there too at the Laugh Factory with Pookie Wigington production, okay? But people want the fame, and one of the things that one of the Jews says that Kevin said to him was that there is a glass ceiling and you have to do things that you might not want to do. Now, I know that to be true because I used to date someone that's in the industry. I was in the industry. I wasn't at that level though. I wasn't that popular, but he was or is. And you know, there are things that people approach you with, and then you wonder why certain people are not as famous as what they should be. If you're not set up like Cat Williams, yeah, you might have to do something strange for a little piece of change. Okay, ask Day Day. Okay. But all I'm saying is this, it's a very interesting contrast between what his accusers are saying and what Kevin is saying. Now keep in mind, Kevin is a very talented actor, so some of the things he may be saying may not be true, but he did say some of the things that brought up. He said, I don't even know these people, I don't remember them. You know, my thing is, I wonder if he's ever been Okay, I just saw something that came across Twitter. Apparently, Jimmy Carter is transitioning, former president, a one-term Democratic president who has done more post-presidency than any president I've seen in my lifetime. Um, he was just an amazing human being. But back to Kevin Spacey Fowler. That's his full name. It is most unfortunate that if in fact what his brother said happened to him possibly happened to Kevin, and that they had to deal with an abusive father who raped his own sons, sick and psychotic. And Kevin, if you are aware that you have been doing these things, I suggest you go seek help. It's never too late, honey, to make a new start. There are people that actually like you as an artist. And, I really am not saying that I don't want to believe. Everyone has an experience. Some people can say that they were inappropriately touched. Usually where there's smoke, there's fire. But based upon the courts, he should be back working now, because guess what? Not guilty. But what could happen, like he said, as soon as he starts to get more work, here they come with more accusations. They done dug up 10. There might be another 10 ready to go in next. We don't know. If you've watched the Max and ID channel for Quiet on Set, talking about Nickelodeon, this shit was wild. I believe them kids. Hollywood is a very interesting place. People don't believe it. You bring up the Illuminati, people don't want to believe that shit. I think that shit is real. But you got to make some sacrifices. And we ain't talking about just sitting around eating ramen in a studio apartment with a bathroom down the hallway that you got to share with 5 other people. I'm just saying, we talking about sometimes your dignity if you choose to. If you choose to accept this next level, then there are things you got to do. New levels, new devils. But what I do not believe is that, I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but if it couldn't be proven in court by a preponderance of the evidence or beyond a reasonable doubt, then hell, who knows? I mean, in the end, we always find out something. Again, let's revisit Michael Jackson. That documentary they put out turned out to be a false narrative, and they had to take it down. A man been dead and gone, and folks still digging him up and twisting his name around, and that's unfortunate. So to Kevin Spacey, I pray that it works out. I pray that his accusers heal from the trauma that they allege that they suffered. I pray that Kevin can be honest with himself and recognize the wrong and the things that he's done over the years, if in fact they are true. They were all consenting adults. Hopefully they were all over 25, but I think somebody was still like 23 or something. Your frontal lobe ain't fully developed either, baby, if you're a man. So yeah, I don't know what to believe. All I know is that it's fascinating to watch how cancel culture works. I mean, I could see if Kevin was out here like Harvey Weinstein getting convicted left and right. And even though that stuff got overturned, baby, he still got other convictions. So he still got to sit there in prison with his sickly self. And he is suffering. What is interesting is that somebody that accused Kevin Spacey, somebody in Nantucket or something, ended up dead. I forgot how that was. I don't know if it was mysterious circumstances. He just dropped dead. I don't know. But you got to be careful when you play with people's livelihood. That's all I'm saying. Because life has a way of turning tables. So if you're lying, get ready. If you're telling the truth, Kevin will pay. There's a penance to be paid, whether he was convicted or found liable or not. We all got to answer. But always remember that to keep your integrity, and I know not everybody is a believer, but I notice these days a lot of people want to use the term universe. I still say God. what God has for you is for you. And if we want to be more modern, for some people who believe in a higher power, but not necessarily believe that it's God or Yahweh or Yahshua, the universe will converge down and make things happen for you. And you won't have to perform fellatio in a moving car on a big star. Okay, you won't have to go sit in a movie, in a dark movie theater with a big star and watch while he does the do on himself, and then ask you to participate in helping him. It's unfortunate, but again, check it out. It's called Spacey Unmasked on the ID channel or Max. I still want to call it HBO. Hell, it's HBO. I grew up with HBO. Check that out. And then if you go to Twitter, there is a, oh, excuse me. There is a whole, where is my profile? Jesus, I don't know how to use Twitter without, because I only use it on my phone mostly. So if you go to Kevin Spacey's X page, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, right of reply. And Dan Wooten, outspoken, films, it's about an hour. I don't know, how long is this interview? It's like an hour and 38 minutes or something. I don't know, but it's very interesting and very telling when Kevin describes everything, and he says no one wants to look at the court documents and see that I in fact was found not guilty of some of these things. I mean, across the pond he was found not guilty. Either there was a substantial memory or there was not substantial evidence. I don't know, but he wasn't convicted and he ain't had to pay nobody. Now, he probably did settle out some things, but I'm just saying. Oh, but let me get off of here because I need to go to bed. I'm actually feeling pretty good for the first time in a long time. Maybe I did have a good therapy session. Anyway, I love my new therapist. He's amazing. He gave me some great ideas on what to do to get back in the seat and start doing things that I want to do. But anyways, y'all be the judge and juror, find out, look at both sides and see what you think about it. But again, I just want to hop on here and talk about it. Probably rambled more than I should, but I've been Miss Sophia the Diva, and y'all have a great night, good morning, great evening, whenever you watch this. Ciao, bella.